This is Radio Nepal. I am Dela Prasai with the news. The headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda pledges to deliver justice to victims of Gaur massacre. Prime Minister Dahal and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held telephonic conversation on implementation of key agreements signed between Nepal and India during Prime Minister Dahal's recent visit to India. CPN Maoist Centre's central members trace party reforms during fourth plenary meeting of the Central Committee. And Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan arrested after 3-year jail sentence over corruption allegations. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda has pledged to deliver justice to the victims of Gaur massacre. In a meeting held with the victims of the massacre at Balwata yesterday, Prime Minister Dahal said a committee coordinated by Secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs would be formed soon to hold dialogues with the victims. Altogether, 27 individuals linked to the then CPN Maoist were brutally killed in a violent incident in Gaur on the 21st of March in 2007. The victims and their families have been staging protest programs putting forth various demands. The Prime Minister had called the Gaur Massacre Victim Struggle Committee for holding dialogue. Arjun Bhandari, Joint Secretary at the Prime Minister's Secretariat, said the government on 3rd of August had sent a request letter to the committee for talks. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi have held a telephonic conversation. The Office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers informed that during the conversation yesterday, the two Prime Ministers discussed about Nepal-India relations and the implementation of key agreements signed between Nepal and India during Prime Minister Dahal's recent visit to India. Issuing a press release on the same matter, the Office of the Prime Minister of India shared that the two leaders discussed on the issue to further strengthen the deep bonds of friendships between the two countries and enhance bilateral partnership while reviewing various aspects of Nepal-India bilateral cooperation. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda has mourned the tragic death of the people in the incident of landslide that occurred at Gaurikunda, Rudraprayag in Uttarakhand of India on Thursday. Prime Minister Dahal took to a social media to pay tribute to the deceased and express condolence to the grief-stricken families. Prime Minister Dahal also shared that diplomatic efforts were underway for the search of the disappeared people. The fourth plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the CPN Maoist Centre continued yesterday as well. 75 Central Committee members put forth their views during the meeting held at Kamaladi Best Nepal Academy. The Central Committee members have been putting forth their views on the political and organizational report presented by Party Chairperson and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda. Putting his views in the meeting, Maoist Centre Deputy General Secretary Barshaman Pun shot cooperation to the incumbent government's campaign against corruption from all sides. Similarly, another Deputy General Secretary of the party, Janathan Sharma, expressed his full support to the government's works to maintain good governance. He also stressed on operating the party systematically. Party spokesperson and Deputy Chairperson Krishna Bahadur Maharaj said the majority of the Central Committee members advised to run party's strengthening campaign. Two climbers making world record by scaling 14 mountains in 3 months have received grand welcome at Trivandrum International Airport yesterday. Christian Harela of Norway and Nepali guide Tanjun Lama Sherpa had successfully climbed the second highest mountain of the world, Mount K2, on the 27th of July. Minister for State for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Sushila Sarpali Thakuri, welcomed the climbers at Trivandrum International Airport in course of returning to Nepal after successfully climbing the Mount K2. CPN-UML chairman and former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stressed the need for each country to respect legitimate interests of others while promoting their national interest. Chairman Oli said this while addressing an event with the theme of current international situation and CPN-UML's view on Nepal's foreign policy, organised in Kathmandu yesterday by the party's Department of Foreign Affairs, stating that mutual interests and respect should be reciprocal maintained. The UML chair said it would be injustice to merely advance national interest of a country, ignoring mutual benefits and recognition of others. He added that Nepal is independent in making a viewpoint on domestic and foreign relations and presenting a policy. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 AM English News Bulletin. We continue with the international updates now. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been given a 3-year jail sentence over corruption allegations. According to the BBC, Khan was found guilty of not declaring money earned from selling gifts he received in office. He denies the charges and says he will appeal. After the verdict, Khan was taken into custody from his home in Lahore. In a pre-recorded statement on Twitter, former Prime Minister Khan told his supporters not to sit at home silently. 70-year-old, the former cricketer turned politician, was elected in 2018 but was ousted in a no-confidence vote last year after falling out with Pakistan's powerful military. Khan is facing more than 100 cases brought against him since his removal charges he say are politically motivated. A Russian-guided air bomb has hit a blood transfusion center in northeastern Ukraine, killing and injuring people, Ukraine's president has said. According to BBC, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said rescuers were now trying to tackle a blaze after the strike on the Kupiansk community in the Kharkiv region on Saturday night. Russia has so far not publicly commented on the reported attack. 2 months in, Ukraine's big offensive is slower than it hoped. Ukraine's President Zelensky also said that on Saturday, Russia separately carried out a missile attack targeting an aeronautical company run by Group Motorsich in the western Kelmansky region. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be generally cloudy throughout the country. There are also chances of heavy rain with thunder and lightning at 1 or 2 places of the Bagmati province, Lumbini province and Sudur Pashchim province. Kathmandu's weather report now: maximum temperature of 29.8 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 20.3 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda pledges to deliver justice to victims of Gaur massacre. Prime Minister Dahal and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held telephonic conversation on implementation of key agreements signed between Nepal and India during Prime Minister Dahal's recent visit to India. CPN Maoist Centre's central members stressed party reforms during 4th plenary meeting of the Central Committee, and Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan arrested after 3-year jail sentence over corruption allegations. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.